Listen, Indiana is now one of the states that's coming back saying people have to pay back unemployment funds. Every time I do this story, most of you are in agreement with the state. No. Let me tell you something. I should not have to pay for your incompetence, especially if I'm not working. If I am not working a job when I'm getting unemployment or my hours were greatly reduced, because you can get it for either situation, I provide you the paperwork. I file the unemployment claim. Every week, I have to certify and send you additional paperwork, and you approve all that, and then you want to come 3 years later and say, I'm sorry, I need the money back? It's a no for me. Who can afford to give that money right now? And you are following every single rule and regulation that they said you needed to follow. You did that because they would not have kept giving you a check every week if you did not certify every week.
I think it's a little bit ridiculous.
Olivia Newton lives in Brownsburg and works as a nurse in the trauma ICU, helping others. But now she's the one who needs help.
It sounds like it was their mistake, and I shouldn't have to pay for that. I didn't do anything wrong.
Olivia received a letter from the Department of Workforce Development demanding she repay $11,000 in unemployment benefits.
What was your reaction when you got this letter?
Shock, scared, panicked a little bit.
She got 2 more letters, each giving her 15 days to pay, and warning Olivia if she doesn't pay up, the state can garnish her wages.
And it would be nice to have a reason because I don't even know why I was overpaid.
Back in March 2020, Olivia was a student at Ball State, working at a tanning salon when COVID-19 forced them to close.
I applied for the COVID unemployment and I got approved for that.
Olivia says she had to reapply every week and give the state a lot of information, including her pay and hours. The tanning salon closed for good, and Olivia says she had a hard time finding a job during the height of the pandemic. She says unemployment helped her stay afloat.
I was not, living a lavish lifestyle because of it whatsoever. Rent, food, living expenses, basically. Nursing school is expensive.
So do you have $11,000?
I do not, unfortunately, do not.
Amanda Douglas in Rossville is in a similar situation.
I'm literally sick over this.
She worked at a hair salon that shut down during the pandemic. Amanda received unemployment while she was out of work and when her pay was drastically cut because of social distancing at the salon. The Department of Workforce Development wants $16,000 back, saying she's not unemployed and is not entitled to benefits.
Well, now 3 years later, they're coming back to me and telling me I need to pay back $16,000.
Do you have $16,000 to give back to the government?
No, not at all. I have no clue where I'm going to get it.
Amanda's daughter has type 1 diabetes.
She is on a pump and we are struggling financially with that. We don't have the money for her medication.
Amanda and Olivia Newton asked WRTV Investigates for help. We reached out to the Department of Workforce Development about their cases. They declined an on-camera interview, but told us due to confidentiality by statute, DWD is unable to speak on specific unemployment claims. Cody Wing is an associate professor at IU's School of Public and Environmental Affairs.
Whose fault is it, these overpayments?
Well, I think it could be the employer's fault, the claimant's fault, or the Department of Workforce Development's fault.
Wing says this is what can happen. The problem happens in all 50 states. Indiana's had $121 million in unemployment overpayments since the pandemic began.
Do we think as taxpayers, if the government makes a mistake and gives you too much money, that you should get to keep it no matter what? I doubt most people would agree.
A DWD spokesperson told us people can appeal or request a waiver. If a claimant appeals or requests a waiver, there will be no attempt to collect the overpayment until those processes are resolved. DWD has approved more than 28,000 waivers for overpayments over the last 3 years.
Yeah, I'm worried of what they can do.
Olivia has requested a waiver.
That's crazy.
Amanda appealed her case and lost.
If this was the case, why didn't they figure this out 3 years ago?
She now works for herself doing hair and knows the state can garnish her wages or even take her tax refund. She's trying to work out a payment plan with the state.
So it could be years before they get this money back from me because I have no clue how I'm going to come up with it.
We reached out to state and federal lawmakers. U.S. Congressman Andre Carson's office issued a statement saying if this happens to you, make sure to keep track of any communications that you have with DWD and know you have the right to appeal.